Welcome to this explainer brought to you by Forge College. Today, we're unrolling a really cool engineering blueprint for production-ready data pipelines. If you've been following our track on integrating Helios for advanced data interactions, you know we've been diving deep. Today, we're unpacking exactly why advanced RPC and webhooks matter for keeping your on-chain data flowing smoothly, efficiently, and exactly when you need it.
So remember in our previous lesson, we were testing our switchboard consumers locally. Local testing. It's beautiful, isn't it? The latency is zero, the network literally never drops a single packet, and everything is just perfectly predictable. Well, I hate to break it to you, but today we are leaving that perfect mocked-up utopia. We're stepping right into the beautiful, chaotic reality of live network latency that we actually have to tackle in production. Let's get real.
All right, let's take a quick look at the schematic for today's build. We'll start with real-world data plumbing, check out the intelligent dock, decide whether to push, pull, or stream, build resilient pipelines, and then wrap it all up with a summary and next steps.
Okay, Section 1, Real-World Data Plumbing, the journey from chain to off-chain.
Before you can even think about building robust systems that react instantly to timely events, you absolutely must understand the underlying infrastructure. Think of data plumbing as the vital nervous system of your application, right? This interconnected infrastructure connects Solana programs and those essential Oracle feeds, like Pyth and Switchboard, straight to RPC endpoints and your off-chain systems. Basically, it's the piping that keeps the data flowing healthily. It turns raw, messy on-chain signals into something your off-chain endpoints can actually use.
Moving right along to Section 2, the intelligent dock, catching crates on the river. I want you to picture on-chain events as heavy crates. They are floating down a really fast-moving river of variable slot times. In this scenario, your RPC service is the dock. Now, if your dock is using a basic RPC, you're essentially just standing there fishing out raw JSON and making tedious direct queries for state and history. It's a ton of manual labor. But in advanced RPC, that acts like an intelligent dock. It catches and inspects those crates as they go by. It handles index searches, lightweight enrichment, like actually attaching parsed logs or decoded instructions directly to the crate, and it batches requests to massively reduce your round trips.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we define that advanced RPC service. It acts as both a translator and an amplifier. By transforming those raw on-chain signals, the signatures, slots, and logs, into structured application-ready events right at the RPC layer, it completely saves your downstream consumer from heavy, resource-draining parsing duties. And trust me, you'll be so thankful for that when the network is under peak load.
Which brings us to Section 3, push, pull, or stream, choosing your delivery mode.
To continue our little postal metaphor here, once the dock has caught and inspected the crates, how exactly does the delivery service get them to the customer's doorstep? Well, the fundamental question you have to ask yourself is, how fast do you actually need it? You have to weigh your latency tolerance against your throughput needs. Think about it. A liquidation engine, that requires instant, highly verified price feeds. You absolutely want that pushed instantly. But a pipeline doing historical trade reporting, that cares way more about throughput and can totally tolerate a bit of delay. Let's look at the operational trade-offs for each delivery mode. Notice how the responsibility shifts here. With polled or batched RPC, you, the consumer, initiate the request. You're doing the polling, the deduplication, the parsing. But with webhooks or subscriptions, the RPC service initiates the delivery. That means the enrichment happens upstream. Your consumer's responsibility fundamentally changes based on the mode you choose, shifting towards things like validation, acknowledgements, or maintaining complex socket connections.
Let's compare two extremes to really nail this down. Pushing via webhooks drastically reduces latency because the RPC service literally throws the data right to your doorstep immediately. But there's a catch. It demands really robust verification and retry logic on your end. Batched RPC, on the other hand, is kind of like ringing a bell for the customer to come pick up a bulk order. It definitely has higher latency, but it's absolutely fantastic for high-throughput backfilling.
All right, moving into Section 4. Building resilient pipelines, designing the workflow.
Now it's time to put all this theory into practice. And, exploring and designing these specific practical workflows is actually a core part of the learning programs we develop at Forge College. So let's see how this builds into explicit testable stages for your pipeline. Step 1, define your triggers and verification points. Step 2, choose your delivery mode. Step 3, design your event envelope. And Step 4, define your retries and actually monitor those metrics. Okay, I want to pause on a really crucial concept here. idempotency. When you use webhooks, the Postal Service guarantees at least once delivery. This means your consumer's doorstep is inevitably going to receive duplicate parcels. It's just a fact of life. Your system absolutely must gracefully handle those duplicates using a canonical event ID and an idempotency store. That's how you ensure you don't accidentally execute the exact same business logic twice, which, as you can imagine, would be a complete disaster.
So the key to handling this smoothly is designing a compact event envelope. By including just the absolute essentials like your event ID, the source program, slot, transaction signature, and a minimal decoded payload, you completely prevent alert fatigue and those dreaded oversized payload crashes. It basically allows your consumer to do a lightweight validation check without having to refetch massive amounts of data from the chain.
And finally, we arrive at Section 5, Summary and Next Steps, Finalizing the Blueprint.
You know, the small architectural choices you make are exactly what will make or break your production loads under pressure. So let's review the core principles of our blueprint one last time. Advanced RPCs, they are your intelligent dock, massively reducing consumer parsing complexity. Always match your postal delivery modes to your actual latency and throughput needs. Assume at least once delivery and build those idempotent endpoints. And lastly, make sure you instrument end-to-end metrics so you can monitor back pressure effectively.
So I'll leave you with this. What webhook pattern will you build? Consider your latency targets and verification needs very carefully, because that exact choice is your artifact for our next lesson where we'll actually be setting up these webhooks. I highly encourage you to visit forge.college to learn more about this subject and explore our other incredible Web3 related topics. Thanks for hanging out with us on this explainer today, and happy building!